Hello, I'm Coach Eugene. Today we're going to be looking at main tank play from what I believe is a scrim. I have no idea the skill level of this player. It's relatively high, but we'll see. Yeah. Main tank is quite interesting because, I don't know, a lot of things that can go wrong for main tanks is completely out of their control. So they're running Rein, Xayah, Mei McCree on... Whoa. On Oasis University, maybe. Okay, so the first thing here is Reinhardt gets a bubble here, which is good. He gets a kill from it, but he doesn't seem to understand that he's been walled up. He has no peel from anyone at all except from his Xayah. Because of this, he takes quite a lot of damage, but he's able to get back to his Moira. Here he gets quite a good fire strike, but really doesn't go to help his Mei whatsoever. At this point, he should be fighting for point control. He has a Winston on him, but yeah, never mind, his McCree's over there. This is a bit of a mess. What is this McCree doing? Okay, yeah, they've kind of just given away point control for free. Neither team has a Mei, and frankly, they should have a superior comp, but the Winston is doing quite a good job of blocking down the backline. Reinhardt even dies for it. Yeah, wow. This is quite good play from the Winston, honestly. Alright, so the thing to notice here is Xayah dies at a stagger from everyone else. By the way, we're watching Faulty, if that wasn't clear. He comes in without acknowledging the fact that his Xayah has been staggered whatsoever, so doesn't even consider that he shouldn't be pushing without a bubble, and for it gets punished by the Shadow. At this point, he's now once again got his backline shut down. He's in a really awful position. Now he evacuates into the bottom. Honestly, the fact that he's not dead here is incredible. The tanks have failed to jump on him, and he gets the mega health pack. This pin here was really questionable as well. Yeah, I don't know about this one. He's about half health. Once again, Winston's on his backline. Nothing's happening to do with the Winston. He just goes for a wild pin. If the counter pin hadn't have happened, would have died. So yeah, this is like... I feel like this is just an alpha sort of Reinhardt player who kind of wants to dominate, but he's just not thinking about some things. Just backing up, blocks Shadow. It was bad Shadow from them. The wall is up at this point, and once again Moira's just being pushed away. There we go. Here's a Coalescence, and this is probably the best... Yeah, this is really the best situation this team's had so far. Both the supports are cut off, and he has just really free will against their Mei and their Reinhardt. Neither die. Alright. This is a really good pin onto the Reinhardt. It turns into the kill onto him, and yeah, just the fight slowly turns into blue team save. Alright, so they're now in a Reinhardt Xayah mirror match. With the Mei, they should have an advantage here, a seriously large advantage. So what they want to do here is take an early fight, maybe wall half of them off. Okay, there we go. So here's the wall, but it gets no one. Then there's a grab. Now the thing to watch out for is the Reaper. They've swapped off Mei to Reaper, and you'll see here quite a good shatter. But this happens with a lot of main tanks. It's just this alpha energy sort of thing. They get a big shatter and they don't think. So completely disregards the fact that there's a Reaper just pummeling him and dies for it. Not once did he even look at the Reaper, put his shield up. I'm not sure if they had a bubble, but we're not watching the Xayah. Although you will notice there are multiple times where Faulty dies without a bubble. And he could have had the bubble. So The upside to this is Reaper died after Reinhardt, so he should be able to get back before the Reaper does. Although Reaper is quite high mobility. No, Reinhardt beats him. Oh, it's about the same actually. Okay, so right here, this fight, McCree is split. He is being speeded, but let's see if they have amp. They do have amp. Right now, the core should come out. Rush McCree. What are they going to do? Seriously, the Xayah's up there. There's no peel. All that they can do is come back down and go into a fight where the McCree is already quite low. Instead, McCree's allowed to rotate. And the team just kind of... It's quite spread out here. So they've got the point. May's got a wall. She walls up the McCree right here. They should be pushing up. They should be going right underneath the brawl. Instead, they give up all this space. Yeah, so now there's just free space to the enemy. Reinhardt's dropped. There we go. That's a good blizzard. This is their engagement. They now need to kill Reinhardt. Yep, nice. Okay, once again with Faulty. He's completely ignoring the Reaper and dies for it. Now in this certain scenario, there was a bubble available. But he is once again just completely disregarding the fact that there's a Reaper. Not doing anything to stop him, really. Alright, so now this fight's just really long and drawn out. He comes back, but too late. Best thing to do is just die here. Gets a pick for it, it's a little bit of ult charge. Alright, so right here. The Reaper's there. Backs up for it. Okay, this is a massive wall. He needs to be capitalizing. Kill the right. Great! Oh, that was a phrase, never mind. Alright, sorry, hold on. Alright, so they're baited and now he's in quite a bad position. He then shatters for it, which is incredible. If you look at the Moira's ult charge, I'd say she'd want to counter Coalescence as soon as she got it. But he got the shatter onto her just before she got it. Really fight turner. Not exactly turner, but it kind of just secured everything. Really good ultimate there.
Allow me to repair the damage.
Alright, so they come in with Coalescence. Massive wall, both tanks should die here. Pins a Xayah, kills the Reinhardt, that's good. Once again, what's he ignoring? The Reaper that's just shooting his head. He's getting headshots here. And how many times did he put a shield up for him? None. Has no care in the world for this Reaper at all, which is... Okay, let's see if they had bubble. They didn't even have bubbles. Yeah, so that's completely his fault then. Just a complete disregard for the Reaper in every sense. His team does win this though. So as far as the Reinhardt, he had quite good, alpha energy sorts of plays, which was fine. The only real problems that we saw were obviously his complete lack of respect for the enemy Reaper, and just sometimes being out of coordination with his Xayah. Also, I would have liked to see him be more of an opportunist when the McCree was doing a late rotation. Like, yes, he did have speed boost, but you had speed boost as well. Could have 6-stacked him. It's alright. You won the fight in the end, I think. Alright, now I want to talk about the Winston play here. This is rather interesting. Alright. So right here, especially on this map, one of the most important parts of controlling this map, the enemies have a McCree. You want to stop the McCree from getting good angles. This is a really good McCree map, but basically you want to be holding high ground here. You want to... So what we want to see is we want Winston to jump onto high ground with a bubble, and then his Xayah, Brig, and Zenyatta to slowly come up. I'd also like to add, just as a personal note for the Winston, you should really not be playing Winston with a Zenyatta. It's a really bad idea. You pretty much always want to have an Ana when you're playing Winston. They are such, they just go so well together. It's really, really difficult to play it with a Zenyatta, especially with just, Like, you can play Wrecking Ball with the Zenyatta, because he gets in, he gets out really quickly, he doesn't need healing in the fight. Winston is the kind of hero that you need to pocket or he just gets blown up. Right, unless you're just playing this, like, really kind of passive style of Winston. It only really works in a full dive mirror, but yeah, you should be either not playing Winston or asking for an Ana hip. You can still make this work, you just have to be, like, really clever with your positioning here. So let's watch the Winston. He gets a little bit pressured out. Rotates over. He's looking for targets. This is awful. This is so bad. So while he's looking for targets, the enemy team's gotten this rotation when his team hasn't even considered it, it seems. They need this space right now. Like, whoever wins the top wins the match. So this is his opportunity. He should be jumping high ground right here. Instead, he counter dives a Tracer and a Wrecking Ball. I have no idea what the hell Winston's supposed to do with this. So that jump alone has lost the fight. Now he has no bubble, and once he's now only got one bubble instead of two, he decides to dive the top. Yeah, so I don't know what you're thinking here. But especially if you're going to play Winston, like, now in this meta, you really need to be thinking about every movement that you're doing. You gotta do it all perfectly. So what I would have liked to see was you jumping onto the high ground with a bubble, then you drop your own bubble. As you're doing this, we would see your Brigitte, Zenyatta, and Josiah come up onto high ground, and you would eventually win this fight. Having a Brig means that you do have a better comp in the front line. They also don't have a Winston. Like, you really could have destroyed them here. You just had to get the right positioning. Also, where was the hack? Like, I'm just saying, there was no hack onto the target you were diving. It's just quite uncoordinated. Not really sure what your Sombra's doing.
The objective is
But
now active.
that's the end of the Winston. And then swap over to Wrecking Ball, which we're gonna have to watch first person. Alright, so for the comp that you're playing, Wrecking Ball is significantly better. I don't really know about the Xayah, but the Wrecking Ball is definitely better. Alright, this play here.
Securing objective.
You take a lot of shots from a damage boosted McCree. So here you end up getting... You get a 2k, but I don't like this play at all. I think you got really lucky. You did get bubbled there, but frankly your rollout was just really poor. I don't believe you were discorded, but if the Zenyatta was slightly better, you would discord charge shot and you would have died. Also, not to mention, I don't believe you used your your shields when you had like a 6-man that you could have done getting you to 1200 health, which lets you get burst down by this Tracer quite easily. Yeah.
I am ready for my ready. Reinforce this position. My ultimate's ready.
Alright. So now you're defending. You want to be coordinating dives with your Tracer and your Sombra. And be charging up your Xayah. Yeah, I'd like to see D.Va instead of Xayah, especially for this comp. It would just be a lot better. Just know. Okay. So this play here I find very interesting. You do something good and you do something bad. So we're gonna watch it through. So you go in. Actually, I'll just let it play out. You slam, and you let there be a pulse bomb kill. But I want to show you what you did wrong in this instance.
Ultimate charging.
Alright. So, something I've only just recently learned about Wrecking Ball is that your shields do not give any ult charge. So the way that you should be playing Wrecking Ball is you go in, you get as big of a shield as you can, you do as much as you can, then you lose the shields and you come out. If you can go in and come out with 600 health, then you've done a really, really good job, right? That's best case scenario for Wrecking Ball. You've given away no ult charge while gaining a lot of your own and possibly getting kills. That should be your goal for Wrecking Ball, although it is quite unrealistic. So you find yourself discorded here. You go in, I don't believe you get bubbled, your Xayah gets flashed, but you go in, and you go up, your Xayah's dead, and then you slam. So you've lost a lot of health. Before you use your minefield, your shields, you then use your minefield, kind of pointless. Use your shields to get out. They don't do any damage to your shields. It's a small thing, but it's really something you need to be looking out for when you're playing Wrecking Ball. Then there's this next thing that also kind of annoys me. As soon as they run out, you re-engage. So it's just like a complete waste of a cooldown at this point. And it's such an important one. And then once again, here you had a 3-man just a second ago. Instead you choose to slam, then use it, then you get out before they do any real damage to it. Just something to look out for in the future, really. I believe you go for Boop here, which just gets you discorded. This counter dive is somewhat pointless. You should be harassing the Zenyatta. There you go, you do it. You force out Trance, which is a really good play. So now you just need to get out and wait for it to be open. Now that Wrecking Ball is gone, you've got a lot of just freedom. Although you should probably okay. Kind of unfortunate, but you Wrecking Ball, so you'll get back. A lot faster than that. So.
Pulse bomb's almost ready.
Yeah, we'll just leave that fight. Okay, so what are you doing here? Just harassing the enemy Wrecking Ball. Interesting aim, but you end up killing McCree, which is alright. And I think your Tracer just kind of carries this fight. Big clues as to what you're actually doing. Alright, so some things to note. When you're playing Reinhardt, you need to understand what's the biggest threat to you. Like, at every moment, you have to decide, you know, what's gonna kill me. As a tank, especially in this day and age, you're a punching bag. Like, the only way to not be a punching bag is to get pocketed, and sometimes when you're pocketed, you forget that you really are just a punching bag. You've got to be thinking at every moment, how can I die? How can I stop myself from dying? That should be one of your #1 priorities, because just by existing, you make it so much harder for the enemy team to win. Like, it's just the threat of a Reinhardt that doesn't make them charge in, doesn't make them int, doesn't make them just randomly do stuff. Yeah, with Winston, you didn't have an honor, so I understand when you're discorded, when you're getting, you know, damaged by a Tracer, it's very easy to just want to peel back. But when you did that jump with Winston onto your supports, you either should have backed out and gone for another fight, just left before you all died, or really have just engaged on the enemy team. Yeah, difficult without an honor. Still in the future, I'd like to see you're playing main tank. You need to be making those decisions that are really the win or loss of the fight. One jump was all it took. And then with Wrecking Ball, you need to be using your minefields, your shield adapters, whatever it's called. You need to be using your adaptive shields before you do anything. You can swing in first, that's fine. But once you see, you know, a 3, 4, 5, 6, you want to use it. If you can go in, especially because you were using it just to disengage. I want to see you using that to engage in the future. It'll be so much more valuable for everyone, really. And then the other thing I didn't really notice was any coordination between you, Sombra, and Tracer. I don't think I ever actually saw that was that good. There was that slam pulse bomb, which was a good, you know, small coordination thing. But I don't really remember at any point, you know, it's like, say, Xayah being hacked and then you, Tracer, and Sombra just killing her. Yeah, when you're playing that comp, the three of you, not necessarily your Sombra as much, she should be opening things up, not exactly killing them. But you and Tracer, you're really like, you know, you do so much. You really just need to be there. You know, be there. That doesn't make much sense. I think you understand that. You know, you go in with your Tracer, you get the kills with your Tracer. You two are really partners. Yeah, if you're playing the D.Va version, she can help out sometimes, but she's got to be in a lot of places at once. Anyway, thank you for watching. Catch you later, I guess.